Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined right now by the founder of Judicial Watch and now Freedom Watch, former Justice Department prosecutor Larry Klayman. Hey, Larry, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm okay. So you have been very proactive since the revelations of the NSA programs. You filed suit, and then you yesterday amended that suit, I believe, into a class action suit. So talk about what the latest is.
We actually have two lawsuits, and it covers the entire gamut of what President Obama, Holder, the NSA, and others have been doing with this so-called PRISM scheme, and that's what it is a scheme. We have covered Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, Facebook, etc. The entire country is now under surveillance by this administration, by the Obama administration, and there's no justification for that under either the First, Fourth, or Fifth Amendments to the U.S. Constitution, or frankly, even the Patriot Act, because that requires there to be some reasonable suspicion. And this can only be an attempt by the president and his comrades to try to control the United States and its population, and to, in fact, blackmail them into being quiet as he goes through his agenda, because people realize that if they speak up, that they can be smeared, they could be destroyed, as was the case also with the revelations about the Internal Revenue Service. That's the way I see it. But the case legally is very sound, it's very strong. These constitutional amendments have been violated. The Patriot Act's been violated. There have been other laws that have been violated as well. These are criminal acts. We brought a civil complaint, and you can see it on our website at freedomwatchusa.org, freedomwatchusa.org. You can see both sets of class action complaints. And this is a way, Steve, that we can unify the country. We've been looking for a way. This is a gift from God, because this issue touches both left, right, and center. Actually, that's three. and technically speaking, the class litigants could be over 300 million people, technically. And this is a way to wage a second American revolution peacefully in the courts, because our government is out of control. It's broken away from the American people. And even have the Speaker of the House, the Republican Speaker, branding this guy that came forward out of his conscience, this little guy, who just simply said things that we already knew were happening, as a traitor. And they're trying to burn him at the stake because they know, Democrats and Republicans, that they have released classified information to suit their political ends. So let's burn the little guy, and let's all of us walk off and keep stuffing money in our pockets at the expense of the American people.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that you can't, when you swear an oath to uphold classified information, you can't decide that I think it shouldn't be done, so I'm going to go to the media and go to Hong Kong and tell the world about it, because there are laws, and he did violate, I believe. He is a felon. I mean, whether you like what he did or you don't, he's a felon.
Well, let me say this, okay? And I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying I would do it, but were our founding fathers felons because they disobeyed the laws of King George III? They had to make a decision that they were going to break away from King George III because he was subverting basic human rights. What is happening now by Obama and company is a subversion of basic human rights. In fact, even worse than anything King George III did.
All right, we're talking to Larry Klayman. Let's move on to the fact this class action suit. For instance, you were joined by the parents of Michael Strange, Charles and Marianne Strange, who lost their son. He was a Navy SEAL killed in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan back in 2011. You and I and them, we've talked about that at length in a previous interview. He says that Charles joined the suit because that he claimed after he started speaking out about his son's death and holding accountable the American government and Joe Biden and Barack Obama, that he started noticing tapping sounds and things on his Verizon phone. Is that the case?
That is the case, and he'll otherwise be available. He's going through a difficult, I think, emotional time this morning with everything that is happening, apparently, because I know we wanted to have him on the show, and I thought that they were going to be on the show, but they're going through a hard time. And, when you know that the government is listening to you and is trying to coerce you into being quiet through intentionally letting you know that they're monitoring your telephone conversations, that's pretty heavy. And we've also seen other attempts in the recent past. We have black helicopters flying over cities, shooting practice rounds as part of an internal security force of Obama. We have stockpiling of guns and ammunition, enough ammunition to kill every American 5 times with bullets. So all this is in people's heads right now, and I think that the strangers, because of this, are going through a meltdown right now.
What do you hope? What are you looking for out of the lawsuit? What do you hope to accomplish if you win the suit? What would a win be?
Well, we asked for very large damages. In the first case, we're asking for an excess of $3 billion. In the second case, because we have all of these companies involved, we're asking for over $20 billion. But the purpose for this is not the money. That's to punish the people who have done this as a dissuading factor for continuing it. But we're asking the courts to stop it, to require that the government expunge its records, to remove those records of people who are not suspected of terrorist activities, and to apologize to the American people. And in the case of the judge, we sued him too. This guy, Roger Vincent, this guy is a judicial hack. I mean, he knew this was way beyond the Constitution. He signed it. We're asking that he be disciplined by appropriate judicial authorities in addition to paying large damages himself. So, we're trying to hit the whole waterfront here, because it's not just a question of President Obama and his administration. You have judges who have become yes men. You have corporate industrialists who, much like in Weimar Germany, which gave rise to Hitler, supported Hitler. Hitler could not have done what he did if the industrialists were not behind him. We've got all these companies playing patty cakes and Russian roulette at the American citizens' expense with Obama and company. They're part of it too. And then last week, people like Zuckerberg on Facebook and others were asked, are you giving access to your servers? And they just plainly lied to the American people. They lied straight up. And it came out, immediately thereafter that, in fact, they are part of this prison program. So we've not just got the government, but we've got these big corporations. And that's not just to blame corporations. I'm a conservative. I believe in capitalism. But these corporations are corrupt. And they're playing the game with Obama because they want something from him.
All right, so Larry, I'm sorry. So you filed the suit. What's the timetable and how far? I mean, you expect this to go all the way? Will you take it all the way to the Supreme Court if things don't go your way?
Absolutely, and and that's where it's going. It will be there, come hell or high water. That's where it's going to end up. And they can see the complaints. They're very carefully crafted. They're not as polemic as I am right now at freedomwatchusa.org. I'm giving you commentary. Straight up lawsuits that deal with the law and focus on that.
And I know you got encouragement from when Senator Rand Paul basically endorsed your suit, correct?
Yes, and we applaud Senator Paul for standing up. He's, I think, frankly, the only one who has.
All right. Listen, Larry, we appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.